Okay, good morning. Today is Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. This is the regular meeting of the Kings County Board of Supervisors. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Here.
Richard Valley,
Here.
Doug Verboon,
Here.
Rusty Robinson,
Here.
Robert Thayer.
Here. All five members are present. We're ready to conduct business today. If you'd all please rise for invocation from Pastor Candace Cortez, 20th Church. Morning, Candace. Thank you for coming today.
Good morning. My name is Pastor Candace Cortez from Koinonia Church here in Hanford. What an honor it is to begin this meeting with a word from Scripture, which reminds us in Proverbs 27:14 that plans fall for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. And so let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for the gift of such a beautiful counsel to help discern, navigate, and make healthy decisions for the people of Kings County. We pray for healthy unity, that they would work as a team under the shared mission of properly administrating and caring for the resources and developing the systems that best serve the people of Kings County. I pray for brave collaboration where we have the ability and capacity, the security to raise issues that might be more challenging, and the collaboration that is good for the ones they sit in position to care for. I pray against the fatigue for doing what is good, which always requires more work than the requirements of that which is easy and sometimes not as healthy. I pray against choices that are riddled with compromise, and I pray for the choices made that are good, healthy, and wise. May you, Holy Spirit, give your heavy influence for the work that happens not only today, but especially in between these meetings as research is done, connections are made, and decisions are considered. May you give wisdom, revelation, and discernment to the entire office. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you so much. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Okay, right now we're going to go to unscheduled appearances. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board on items of interest within the board jurisdiction and which are not already on the agenda. The board will not answer questions impromptu, and concerns or complaints will be referred to the appropriate staff. For items which are on the agenda or brought up for discussion, for items which are on the agenda, members of the public will be provided an opportunity to address the board as each item is brought up for discussion. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. And do we have any written comments?
I have no written correspondence. I do have a speaker card from Brenda Tamayo Pagan.
Morning, Brenda. How are you today? Good.
Good morning, Chairman Verboon, members of the board, and members of the public. My name is Brenda Tamayo Pagan, Program Manager with Kings County Behavioral Health, and I'm here to invite the community to some upcoming focus groups about Proposition 1, the Behavioral Health Services Act. Prop 1 passed by voters in March 2024, expanding mental health treatment, substance use services, and supportive housing for the most in need, including veterans and people experiencing homelessness. I wanted to inform you that Kings County Behavioral Health is in the process of developing its new Behavioral Health Services Act integrated plan, and the community's input is essential. These focus groups are designed to empower community voice, support individuals in clearly communicating their needs, and bring that input directly into our local planning process. So these sessions will begin next week here in Hanford, Corcoran, and Avenel, with the focus on homelessness population, veterans, those with lived experience, and the LGBTQ plus community. And then we will continue the groups the week of September 15th to include focus groups in Avenel and Armona with older adults, our family support group, and substance use disorder lived experience individuals. Spanish interpretation will be available. Final focus group information will be posted on social media, on the KCBH website, and distributed throughout local communities. If anyone needs specific dates and times, they can email bhsa@co.kings.ca.us. Thank you for your time and for your continued commitment to building a healthier, stronger Kings County.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
Any other speakers?
I do not have any other speaker cards. It doesn't appear anyone online has their hand raised.
Do we have anybody in the audience? Seeing none, we'll move on now to the next item, item 3, approval of the minutes, and we have a misprint. It's August 12th. It's written down as August 5th. So item A, report out of closed session from regular meeting for August 12th, 2025.
There was no report out for the August 12th, 2025 meeting.
Thank you. Item B, approval of the minutes from regular meeting August 12th, 2025. Motion by Supervisor Robinson, second by Supervisor Neves. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Robert Thayer.
Yes. Okay, 5 in favor. Thank you. We'll move on now to consent counter. All items listed on the consent counter are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. If a board member has a question, request additional information, or wishes to comment on an item, the vote will not be taken up until after the questions have been addressed or comments made. And the public has had an opportunity to comment on the consent counter items with the board direction. Moved by Supervisor Robinson, second by Supervisor Thayer. Are there any questions from the audience? Seeing none, go back for roll call vote.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson, Robert Thayer.
Yes. 5 in favor. Thank you very much. We'll go to regular calendar. And item A, administration, Kyria Martinez. Oh, I'm sorry, Matthew Boyette. Morning, Matthew.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Matthew Boyette, Deputy County Administrative Officer, Kings County Administration. So I'm before your board this morning with an amendment to the Joint Powers Agreement for the South Fork Kings Groundwater Sustainability Agency. So the South Fork Kings Groundwater Sustainability Agency is a joint powers authority that was established back in 2017. That was developed to go ahead and implement sustainable management and regulation of groundwater aquifers below their boundary that live within the Tulare Lake subbasin, all of which obviously came as a way of the passage of the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act back in 2014. So there are 5 member agencies within this JPA. It's the City of Lemoore, Empire Westside Irrigation District, the Stratford Irrigation District, the Stratford Public Utility District, and us as the County of Kings. And so there's an amendment before your board to go ahead and adjust the governing body for the GSA because there were some concerns over adequate representation across everybody within that GSA. So as it currently stands right now, the governing body of the GSA is comprised of one representative from each of the 5 member agencies. And so, according to some of the concerns, that leaves significant portions of the GSA itself without direct representation. So the GSA encompasses about 65,000 acres within their boundary, and the 5 member agencies, their jurisdictional boundaries only make up about 26% of that overall GSA. So that leaves about 74% of the GSA unrepresented directly by those folks that fall outside of the boundaries of the member agencies. So in order to address the issue, it's proposed to go ahead and add 2 at-large representatives to the GSA board. These at-large landowners and growers would be from outside of the jurisdiction of the 5 member agencies, and they would actually be nominated by the GSA's Grower Advisory Committee and appointed by the 5 members of the GSA. And so these each of the 2 at-large representatives would also have alternates as well. One important piece to note is that these 2 at-large representatives would not have voting rights as to appointments for the 2 at-large representative landowner growers. So essentially, they can't keep voting themselves in. That still stays exclusively with the 5 member agency. So again, they serve 3-year terms at the pleasure of the 5 member agency GSA board. So with that, that concludes my presentation. The recommendation before your board this morning is to approve the First Amendment to the South Fork Kings Groundwater Sustainability Agency Joint Powers Agreement to add 2 additional directors to the governing body. That concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. I think one clarification is even though they are outside the jurisdiction, they're still in the South Fork GSA.
Correct. Yeah, outside the jurisdiction of the 5-member agencies.
Right. And this
But
has been a
still
problem.
within-
This has been a problem for all GSAs.
Correct.
Sometimes it gets lopsided. So you need to make, I had already thought we approved these changes months ago, but apparently we never did. So any questions from the board or clarification? Supervisor Neves?
I just want to thank Mary for working on this. I know she put up with a lot of back and forth discussion from attorneys. So that,
They mess it up all the time.
yeah, exactly. You know, and they, in the hope of clarifying. So the more they clarified it, the more it got convoluted and confusing. But I think we have a good document. I think it's very doable. It's not uncommon. Groups like LAPCO also have at-large membership that the original core organization elects on. So I'll just go ahead and move this forward, Mr. Chairman.
A motion by Supervisor Neves to approve as presented. The second by Supervisor Robinson. Any questions from the audience? Johnny, you want to talk about anything? You good? They'll be your boss, so you might want to make sure that you get along with everybody.
Yeah, that's what I need. 2 more bosses. That's all right. Now, the amendment.
State your name, please.
Oh, my name is Johnny Gailey. I live at 532 North Fairway Street in Visalia, California. I manage the South Fork Kings GSA. And so we've been working with a grower advisory committee had been formed. And one of the first issues that came up when I started there was that because of the initial formation of the GSA had to be by public agencies, there was a significant area of the GSA that was not represented by board members from those areas. So they wanted to add some seats to the board to balance that out. So
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that because
yeah.
this has been a long talk about discussion. It took a long time to get here.
Yeah, there was a
I think we
previous
did
JPA amendment that was passed by 3 of the agencies, but then when it came here, there was some wording that they wanted to change. So
Okay, thank you.
I
appreciate
have a
it.
question
Yes, sir.
for the director. So the board of directors, they took a vote asking to send this amendment to the board of supervisors.
Actually, no, because the way it works is the JPA is made up of the 5 individual entities. So the GSA board actually has no say in the makeup of the JPA. It has to go back to each individual board. So if you guys choose to approve this amendment today, it will also need to be approved by the City Council of Lemoore, the Stratford PUD, Stratford Irrigation District, and Empire West Side. So all 5 boards have to approve it. It has to be unanimous to make a change.
But we have to give it the blessing first.
But the request doesn't come from your current 5 board members.
No, it comes
No.
from the landowners,
Right.
people's voice. Okay.
Huh.
Hey, thank you, Johnny. Any other questions? And clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Robert Thayer.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. 5 in favor. Next item, Michael. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Michael Amin, Administrative Analyst with Kings County Administration. Before you this morning is a notice received from the Department of the Interior Bureau of Indian Affairs on July 24, 2025, regarding a non-gaming land acquisition application submitted by the Santa Rosa Indian community of the Santa Rosa Rancheria. The tribe is requesting that the United States place approximately 354.62 acres consisting of 8 contiguous parcels located in the unincorporated areas of Kings County, northwest of the Rancheria, south Jackson Avenue, and east of the 19th Avenue into federal trust. These parcels, commonly referred to as former dairy parcels, are adjacent to existing trust lands and are currently used for agriculture purposes. Improvement on the land are minimal, including a manufactured home and a former auto repair garage. One of the parcels is currently under a Williamson Act, which remains enforceable under California law, even if the land is placed in the trust. The action would have a fiscal impact on the county and other local agencies. The affected parcels generated a total of $39,009 in secured property tax for fiscal year 24-25, of which $3,493 are directly assessments to the South Forks Kings Groundwater Sustainable Agency. If the land is placed into the trust, this revenue will be permanently lost. In accordance with the federal procedures, the county has 30 days from the date of receipt through Saturday, August 23, 2025, to submit written comments regarding any potential impact to the county's regulatory authority, tax revenue, or special assessment. Since the 30 days falls on weekend, the effective deadline for submitting comments is Monday, August 25, 2025. Any submitted comments will be shared with the tribe for review and potential response before a final determination is made by the Secretary of the Interior. At this time, we respectfully ask your board to direct staff as to the county's response to the notification seeking comment regarding any potential impact to the county operations under the proposed trust land acquisition. Staff is prepared to draft and submit a letter if so directed by your board today. That concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions from the board? Any direction or nothing? This is just take land they already own and it allows us to do the research and put it in their trust, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Motion by Supervisor Robinson, second by Supervisor Neves. Any questions from the audience? Any questions online?
Mr. Chairman, just for clarification, the action is any proposed comments. So if your board doesn't have any comments, then we just wouldn't submit a letter.
Okay. Okay, we have motion in a second. You'll vote on it, right? Yeah. Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson, Robert Thayer.
Yes.
5 in favor. Thank you, Michael. Okay, we'll go now to item B, Human Resources. Carolyn Lease. Good morning, Carolyn. How are you today?
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. I'm doing good, thank you. Carolyn Lease, Human Resources Director. I'm here today to request approval. I'm sorry, what was that?
No.
Oh.
You just lost one. You were
Oh.
quick enough.
Oh, do you want me to wait? I'm here today to request approval of the agreement with Grand Canyon University for tuition discounts effective August 19th, 2025 through August 18th, 2028. There is no fiscal impact for this agreement. The county continues to promote workforce development through programs such as the Education Reimbursement Program, which provides financial reimbursement to employees who are pursuing work-related degrees. Partnerships with universities such as Grand Canyon University help with this commitment by offering tuition discounts to county employees. These programs encourage and support education programs that provide permanent employees with the opportunity for personal career development and advancement, which directly benefits the county service by increasing the technical and managerial competency of our staff. This collaboration reflects the county's strategic goals related to workforce investment. I do believe Elena Orozco is here today with the university. She is the University Development Counselor for Grand Canyon University, and she's here today to provide some information and an overview of the benefits that we'll receive with this agreement.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, members of the board and Kings County residents. My name is Elena Orozco. I am a Grand Canyon University counselor. I'm local and also a Kings County resident. Thank you for this opportunity to address the board for this proposed partnership between Grand Canyon University and Kings County. This is not just an educational agreement, it is an investment in our workforce, our community, and the future of those we serve. The partnership with Grand Canyon University offers several key benefits. First of all, it gives they have access anyways, but it gives that additional scholarship and access to over 285 100% online programs. This is going to be for a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, doctorate degrees, and it is in all fields within Kings County. So we have business, behavioral health, humanities and social work. So all fields, medical, teaching. So we offer scholarships. So Grand Canyon University is offering scholarships to all employees and their families to lower the financial burden for attending school for furthering their education and advancing in their career field. Second, Grand Canyon University is committed to helping organizations such as Kings County reach their fullest potential by providing workforce opportunities. Grand Canyon University provides professional development courses. These opportunities are led by experts in their field. This strengthens employees' knowledge and builds motivation. The professional development courses can be tailored to Grand Canyon or to Kings County's needs. So it's not just a general overview, it can be tailored. And again, these are by experts in the field. Grand Canyon University also offers Career Connections, which is a digital job board for any open positions that Kings County can post, any open positions that are open within the county. This over 100,000 students and alumni have access to these boards, and this is throughout all of the United States. So on campus, we have over 75,000 students. They're just freshly out of college, looking for opportunities to start in the workforce, and also a lot of them are from Kings County or they don't mind relocating, again, to start their career. So this partnership comes at no cost to Kings County, and it is non-exclusive. I believe it is a smart investment for employers of Kings County, for the employees of Kings County, and for the workforce. And that's all I have.
Well, thank you very much. Do you have a question?
Thanks for Carolyn. Carolyn, I saw I think we're also working with Massachusetts University or some. How many different programs do we have?
So far, we're using US Global. We've been partnering with them for probably at least 20 years. And they were part of the Brandman University. They were Chapman University, so they've kind of transitioned. But so far, it'll be UMass Global as well as with Grand Canyon University. Those are the two correct right now.
I was wondering, how do you go about selecting them?
Usually they reach out to us, but the one for Brandman University that has now transitioned to UMass Global, that was a relationship developed back when Allison Picard was here. She was an instructor there, and so we have developed this relationship with them, and we're doing tuition reimbursements. We've also reached out to before with National University, and they actually hosted a master's program class that was on campus. But a lot of them have transitioned to online now and don't want to do the cohorts in campus now. So we've transitioned to working with ones that are doing the online, but it doesn't mean we won't keep trying to find the ones, because I know there's still people who value that in-person education when we can host them here.
Thank you.
Very good. Any other questions? Any questions in the audience? I'll look for a motion. Moved by Supervisor Thayer, second by Supervisor Robinson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richard Valley. Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Robert Thayer.
Yes.
All in favor, one absent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Joe left because he's the Brandman guy. So, just saying. And a graduate. Master's degree, right? Yeah, very good. Okay, we'll go on to the next item, which is item C, Human Service Agency. Wendy, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Wendy Osikoffo, Director of Human Services. On August 30th, 2022, this board approved a 5-year agreement with Kings Community Action Organization to administer the Domestic Violence Shelter-Based Program and receive associated funding. Under the Welfare and Institutions Code, the Domestic Violence Shelter-Based Programs Act outlines specific program requirements, designates fees for county special funds to support these shelters, and outlines a provision for the county to designate a local agency, and in our case, that agency is Human Services, to monitor the shelter-based program receiving the funding, which is KCAO. As intended by law, disbursement of the funds from the County Domestic Violence Shelter-Based Program Special Trust Fund, I'm going to call it the DV Trust from now on, augment the local women's shelters budget and provide additional funding for shelter-based emergency support services for victims of domestic violence and their children. Although there is already a 5-year agreement in place with KCAO, there is a requirement under Welfare and Institutions Code 18293 for annual recertification by this board. As the sole qualifying provider of domestic violence shelter-based program in Kings County, KCAO, who began their program in 1980, continues to provide the required services and remains eligible by law to receive these funds derived from the DV Trust. The funds are available as a result of $23 marriage license fees that are charged at the time of issuance. There's some additional fees that get charged through probation as well. These fees are collected by the county clerk and then deposited into the DV trust account. Additional, I added it after the fact. Additional funds are collected from courts and probation as a condition of probation from domestic violence charges. HSA then simply passes these funds through to KCAO. The total amount of funding has averaged around $40,000 annually over the past 3 years. There really is no impact to the county general fund, and by law, the funds cannot be used for any other purpose. At this time, I'd like to welcome Jeff Garner up to give an overview of the services and an update to the board.
Thank you, Wendy. Morning, Jeff. How are you doing today?
Good morning. Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Jeff Garner, Executive Director, KCAO. So first off, just thank you to the Board of Supervisors for this support that you've provided over the past several years. Definitely operating a 24-hour, 7 days a week, 365-day a year shelter is a lot. And so we do need a lot of support that comes in to support the shelter, and we do appreciate the support that you've given us over the last several years through this trust fund. Just a little rundown of the shelter. So it is kind of the best kept secret in Kings County, really because it is a confidential location, and because we do have victims there of domestic violence who are fleeing a very dangerous situation. The people who have victimized them are still searching for them. And so we really have done a good job creating this secure and confidential environment. We have 38 beds that are located at the shelter. And on an annual basis, we serve about 250 individuals per year, women and children, also men if they are victims of domestic violence as well. When we do have beds available, we also make it available for women who are homeless, who are not DV victims. And so we've also have kind of leveraged the availability of beds to also address our homeless challenges in our community. We do have tremendous partnerships that support the shelter. In addition to here with the Board of Supervisors, we have Kings County Behavioral Health who has invested in the shelter to provide mental health services to the victims and adults and children that are there at the shelter. But we also have partnerships with the City of Hanford and other key partners in our community. So we really try to do our very best to create an environment where these individuals whose foundations are fractured, that we take the time to rebuild those foundations. On average, women and children can stay at the shelter. They can stay as long as they're on a case plan and we're advancing them and building them back up. They can stay up to 90, even 120 days. On average, it's about 60 days that women and children stay at the shelter. We did have just a recent success story just that was shared with me by staff where we had a young mom with 2 children who was fleeing a very difficult situation, and she was under abuse as well as her children. And it's always hard to exit those strategies or exit those environments. She made a phone call to our staff. We worked up a safety plan with her. She found a pathway to where she can and her children can leave that environment and head to our shelter. That was in May, late May, early June. The children, obviously being in a shelter is no place that they really want to be at, but they quickly were able to assimilate and adapt to that environment. Our team provided the support and comfort that family needed. And after 35 days, that family was ready to transition from the shelter. And so we were able to help them get connected to housing programs as well as family members of theirs to where they now have a pathway forward that's free of violence. And so it's those types of moments that really, I think, solidifies the importance and the impact of this program. And so we do hope that you renew this partnership, and the funds are there to help us operate our shelter. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jeff. Any questions from the board? Correction?
Motion.
Motion by Supervisor Robinson, second by Supervisor Thayer. Any questions from the audience? Any comments? Seeing none. Anything online? Nobody online? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richard Valley.
Aye.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Robert Thayer.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
all in
you.
favor? Thank you, sir. Thanks for doing that. Okay, we'll go on item 2 on Human Service Agency with, good morning.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the board. Monica Connor, Assistant Director for the Human Services Agency. For this item this morning, I'm going to hand it off to Program Manager Natasha Endres. She's a Program Manager in the Child Welfare Division.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Chairman and members of the board. My name is Natasha Endres, and I'm a Program Manager with Child Welfare. I prepared a brief overview of the Listen agreement that's put before the board today. To begin, Families First Prevention Services Act is a federal law focused on keeping children safe with their families and out of foster care. In response to this law, California created a state prevention plan, which required each county, including Kings, to submit a comprehensive prevention plan to show how we will meet these requirements. In the plan, each county must outline which evidence-based practice we will be using and how we will assess how well we're using it, also known as fidelity monitoring. Motivational interviewing is an evidence-based style of communication used by social workers to support families in building motivation and confidence to achieve positive outcomes for themselves and their families. Kings County identified motivational interviewing as the evidence-based model that we will be using within our comprehensive prevention plan, and many other counties within California have chosen motivational interviewing as well. Currently, child welfare has limitations on claiming federal funding reimbursement for prevention work. In 2026, due to Families First Prevention Services Act, we will be able to claim reimbursement through federal Title IV funding for prevention work that includes motivational interviewing and monitoring fidelity. Prevention not only saves money in the long run, but it does strengthen families and makes our community healthier. For the first year of this contract, we will be using Families First Transition Act funding, which is time limited and must be used by September 30th of this year. Otherwise, we do lose it. For the second year of this contract, we will be using Families First Prevention Services Act funding, both of which come through California Department of Social Services, and the Listen agreement aligns with the purpose of these federal funds, Should anything change with the funding, there is a provision in the agreement that would allow us to end the agreement. During June and July of this year, all of our child welfare social workers and supervisors were trained in motivational interviewing. Within the requirements of Families First Prevention Services Act, we do need to monitor the fidelity. To measure fidelity, we must use evidence-based tools that have been developed through research and tested for reliability. So Listen is a secure artificial intelligence or AI assisted platform that uses 2 evidence-based tools to measure motivational interviewing fidelity. The tools are the MICA, which is Motivational Interviewing Competency Assessment, and the MIghty, which is Motivational Interviewing Treatment Integrity. These tools assess motivational interviewing, but do look at different things. MIghty looks at specific skills and behaviors during a conversation, like, are you asking open-ended questions and showing empathy? While MICA measures motivational interviewing overall, like, is trust being built and are you helping your client find motivation? Both tools help see how closely motivational interviewing is being used to fidelity. There is a scoring system that's provided that will help for additional training if needed. Social workers and supervisors will role play with each other and will use mock interview scripts. So no personal information about clients will be said during the role plays. For example, a supervisor will read from a script with a scenario such as general neglect and allegations, and then the social worker will be able to practice their motivational interviewing. Listen will record the role play and provide scoring. Data is stored on HIPAA-compliant servers that are located in the United States, and it is restricted to approved people only. After the session's completed, we are able to delete it, but the scores will be saved to measure fidelity over time. For all of these reasons, the contract was procured via sole source. Purchasing Chief Information Officer Delvin approved the sole source justification on February 14th of this year. Evaluation of other options was completed, and Listen was the only option that could offer this level of automated fidelity scoring. Listen is a more efficient, long-term solution. It allows us unlimited sessions for a fixed cost, making it more cost-effective. While measuring fidelity is a requirement, more importantly, it helps us improve the quality of the services that we provide to the community. So for these reasons, we do respectfully ask that the board approve the agreement with HSA and Listen for fidelity monitoring of motivational interviewing. I do have a representative, Jenny Chang from Listen online, if you have any questions for her. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you very much. Any questions? Listen, they're watching us right now. They're analyzing your movements and everything right now.
So is this AI that is grading the interviewer?
So it's considered AI assisted because it is essentially, yes, grading, not necessarily grading as much as just scoring. So the tools that it's using are evidence-based tools that anybody could actually use. But this assisted AI just records the role play and then gives you the scoring really quickly, much quicker than a person could use the
Is
score.
it shared?
Shared with,
It's not shared.
it's not shared publicly. No, it's stored.
And it's deleted once the person is finished.
The role play is deleted, and then we just keep the scoring on an Excel sheet, and then we'll keep it.
Or are our employees, are they good at this? Are they becoming good at?
At motivational interviewing?
Yeah.
So that's the goal. So we just completed training and
Training to do it.
to do
actually.
motivational interviewing.
Got it.
Correct. And then now this is going to measure how well we're doing it and give us some feedback.
Maybe it'll motivate them to be better.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, we can get an update about a year from now to see how it went. correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
So, before the software, was there an employee or supervisor that would grade these mock interviews for training?
So we haven't used that for this in general. So motivational interviewing is something that kind of went step by step within our plan. And then now that we've completed the training, the next step is to monitor fidelity. So we've looked at the tools. Micah and Mighty are well-known tools to use that. It's like a scoring sheet, all these different questions. So a person could use it, but we decided to have this option. It's also an option that California Department of Social Services is looking into just because it's a lot more efficient.
Thank you. And then second question is, so it's only for training, it's not during actual interviews?
Correct.
Uses.
We were very methodical in that, and it is not, we will not be recording any clients. We're going to have very scripted role plays for different scenarios that we have within child welfare. And then we're not even going to say any kind of client information. It's going to be more so just to allow the social worker to practice their skills. And then we're methodical in having a supervisor doing the role play so that they are very adamant in not providing anything that would break confidentiality.
And this would help keep from missing anything that you should have gotten interviewed, correct?
Yeah, it's really more so to
Just notice
help
that
build their capacity because we're not using real life situations. We're using scenarios where the social worker is just really able to build off of their skills and practice them.
Yeah, sometimes experience matters. So if they got experience in a box, you can tap into it and help you out.
I like the fact that they're actually here, even asking for authorization for it.
Well, they're actually watching you right now.
Well, I saw this last week. If you go to the top of your monitor right here on the screen, and the third symbol from the left, if you put it on there, it says AI in this meeting. Huh? So, like, was that just starts off?
But it just turns your character into a cartoon character.
All right. Well, there's AI in our meeting, and I don't know what the hell it's doing. But
This is Monica Connor. Just to add a little bit more, is that with a comprehensive prevention plan, excuse me, prior to the plan, when we worked prevention cases, we were not able to claim for the administrative costs of a social worker case managing it or the administration oversight, that type of stuff. But with this now, the requirement is in order to be able to claim those costs, we need to have fidelity monitoring, which this is going to serve that as well. So in the long run, it's going to help us with that.
Very good, Monica.
Yeah, just a quick question. So, and I don't know, this might be a windy question, I'm not sure, but is this the only area in the department where we're using AI?
Yes. Although, I mean, I think our world's evolving a lot. So they're looking at different places in some of our benefit services programs where we can create some efficiency. But that's yet to come.
We're going to use it in our interview process for Board of Supervisors for hiring personnel.
I mean, we can work out a deal with Carolyn. I mean, this really is, we always are looking at how we can improve the practice of social workers, right? The part that Monica mentioned. So we always are training them, looking at, engagement interventions that make us more effective at our job. And so we've always done that. And motivational interviewing is evidence-based, but for us to say we're doing it to be able to claim the federal funds for it, we have to actually know that we're doing it and doing it correctly. So it's going to reduce some of our workload, because if I have to put supervisors on monitoring, filling out the form, checking fidelity, giving us the feedback, it's going to cost us a lot more man hours. If we can use that as a tool to kind of give us some feedback and then bring our team together to assess and go, okay, we might need to double down on training here. We're not quite getting it, or great, everyone's doing great. Let's just stay on top of it and monitor, make sure we don't drift. It's just a mechanism for feedback. It's not going to make a decision about whether a child's coming into foster care or whether they need to be placed. That's the good old-fashioned social work engagement, but this helps them grow some skills and tools around how to do that the most effectively.
Mr. Chair, I asked that question earlier and she just answered it, which is what, as far as AI, when I asked if there was a supervisor and employee that was overseeing the training earlier, because now you have AI doing the job of one of our county employees. So if you guys, this is what you guys want, I support it, but don't get mad if the door gets open later when this replaces 50 of your employees or something in the future.
Understood. This is not work that we are not currently doing fidelity assessments. That component's new. What we are doing is training workers on how to effectively engage and interview clients.
And we can get reimbursed for using this service.
That's right.
In the future, but we're not getting reimbursed today.
Let me ask you this. So have you gotten feedback from your younger staff?
I don't know.
On
Feedback
this?
been on the training. We did actually. So before months ago, we when we started discussing Listen and learning about it, we had our training supervisor. Listen has different mocks, like videos that they provide. And so they sent them to us, and we had just a listening session with different social workers, some that were brand new, some that were very experienced, and our training supervisor went over them with them and just said, give us your feedback. What are your thoughts on if we were to use this tool? And we got positive feedback. The request was that we did training in person. So we did do that. Our training, we had a live trainer come in. They were able to do role plays live with each other. So this is not replacing training. And so that was their feedback they gave us, and we heard it and practiced that.
I only asked that, not to make a big deal out of your item here, but with the bringing up the conversation at AI, this is one thing that I'm learning, like having a young son, 23, and someone who's already graduated with a bachelor's degree. We just had this conversation 2 days ago with him and his girlfriend, she's also at university right now, but I showed them a picture of a friend's logo on a coffee cup. I said, hey, what do you think about this? This looks pretty cool. And both of them, without hesitating, said, oh, that logo's AI generated. Young people won't go to that business because of that. And I said, why? And they said, because young people don't support that kind of, human being can do that logo and do it better. But if we're going to start bringing AI on it, young consumers get turned off by that. And I don't understand that. Maybe you do a little bit since you have some businesses.
I like to see art from the person to design something. See the personality, not AI. I mean, you can almost tell.
We kind of get that. Yeah. So I only bring it up that I think as we move forward with AI in the county, and maybe CSAC will have some.
They're doing shops.
Yeah, some shops for us to get more educated on it, because I don't think that we could just sit here and assume, oh, it's AI. That means it's better. Let's do it. I don't want to make that mistake.
Mr. Chair, also County Council is working with staff on developing an AI policy for the county, and that will come before the board as well.
And
in the future.
Just to add to your comments, I mean, I feel like this world of AI is uncharted for all of us, and where it applies and makes sense and where it doesn't. In our field, it's very human based, right? I mean, we have to be face to face engaging with our clients to be effective. AI is not ever going to be replacing that within human services. The places where it's being explored are places where I think, like research, like if a social worker has to research something and that's going to take them hours, and there's a tool that can help them quickly get to a list of resources that they could then get to the family, that's where AI is helpful, right? To make the job easier for our staff, but not replace the job of our staff. So obviously I can't speak for other departments and other applications, but anytime we may be looking at that, and there's nothing even active on the pipeline, but it would be more around creating making the job a little bit easier for our staff so that they have the time to do that in-person engagement more effectively.
Very good. We have a motion by Supervisor Robinson.
Yeah, but I do have one more thing. So I just hope while we take this walk that we're assessing what AI gives us back, because often, I'm asking it for Topeka and it's telling me about Tupelo. So we need to pay attention to the output that it's giving, to know where its strengths are and its weaknesses.
Tupelo is the birthplace of Elvis Presley.
Did we hit a second already?
I'll second it.
Second by Supervisor Valley. Any questions from the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Lisa Lewis, Behavioral Health Department. I just wanted to support this and tell you that in the training of clinicians, there is so much time and money spent in this kind of work, which is recording, overseeing, transcribing, and then meeting with clinicians and with supervisors. And oftentimes when we're trying to do these type of evidence-based practices, we have to hire outside people who are the experts in the field. It's extremely expensive. We have spent so many thousands of dollars and hours on this kind of supervision. And the fact that it's starting to be available through AI, through language models, which are extremely well trained from listening to this type of work for hours and hours and hours, and starts to know what's good work and what isn't good work, it's very effective. And it is becoming something that's used in our field very much. And you will start hearing from us regarding AI as well. Just wanted to add that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the audience?
Like the good old days when AI just meant Allen Iverson.
All right. Any questions online? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richard Valley.
Aye.
Doug Verboen.
AI.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson. Robert Thayer.
Yes. Okay, 4 in favor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I know I've leaned into AI to help me on some stuff, and it kind of opens up your mind to things that you weren't thinking of. And so you just remember who you are. And if it's something you can use with it, then use it. But if you don't like it, then don't use it. Okay, thank you.
Are you using AI for your social media? Different in your language?
No, not yet. Okay, well, I'm not going to admit to that. All right, so we have a study session. Is there a certain time we have to start that study session, or can we start at any time? Okay, so right now we're going to go to item 6A, study session, and we have Veronica Mello. Did I miss something? Okay.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I'm Veronica Mello, Administrative Analyst at the County Administrative Office. Today I have the pleasure of introducing Lynette Guzman, and she is with the Mark Thomas Consulting. She'll be presenting a presentation via Teams on the proposed Kings County Association of Governments 2025 Regional Active Transportation Plan.
Great. Good morning, Board of Supervisors. I actually wanted to check if Teresa Nickel was online.
Yeah, Teresa's here.
Okay.
We discussed it, but she lost in rock, paper, scissors, so she's here now.
Hey, I think there's some mix-up or something, but good morning, Chairman Verboen and council members. I'm Teresa Nickel with Kings County Association of Governments, KCAG. I'm here to introduce the draft 2025 Regional Active Transportation Plan to the county with our request for you to receive the presentation and provide feedback on the plan. The Regional Active Transportation Plan identifies high priority bicycling and pedestrian projects throughout the region to help make safer streets with complete street systems, improve the public's health, reduce the number of accidents causing injury or death, and to support economic vitality. The plan also includes a regional complete streets component. This component includes principles to promote the goal of zero roadway fatalities and serious injuries by the year 2035. Excuse me. I will inform that KCAG will include a complete streets policy template in the final plan for jurisdictions to use to develop their own complete streets policy document. The current appendix includes a regional draft complete streets policy. And so having a complete streets policy will help to support and complement your transportation applications when applying for grant funds. The director of KCAG, Terry King, has determined that there is no fiscal impact to the county since this regional plan is for KCAG and does not bind or commit the county to undertake any of the improvements included within the plan. The plan does propose new improvements prioritized by the respective public works departments of Lemoore, Avenal, and the county, and also incorporates improvements recommended in early plans, such as the county's general plan. It also includes the Corcoran and Hanford active transportation plans that they recently adopted for their own jurisdictions. If the county decides to implement some of the improvements because of the regional active transportation plan, then the plan would have an indirect fiscal impact, which is unknown, but depending on which and how many improvements the county decides to undertake. So at this time, I would like to introduce our consultant team from Mark Thomas to conduct the PowerPoint for you. And we have Amber Collins, the project manager, and Lynette Guzman, the deputy project manager, to present. And afterwards, we'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Amber, it's all yours.
Yes, thank you so much. Nice to meet you all. We're very happy to present this final or public review draft to you. I will actually pass it off to Lynette Guzman, who will provide the presentation, and then we'll both be available for Q&A.
Thanks, Amber. And I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if you cannot see it. I'll go ahead and since we already did our welcome and introductions, I'll move on to the next slide and provide a project overview, which Teresa did a great job. Some of the strategic objectives I did want to highlight again were that the update of the 2025 Regional Active Transportation Plan, the RATP, it'll reflect current priorities and align with local active transportation plans. It'll support the goals identified in the 2022 Regional Transportation Plan, and it'll better position Kings County to compete for grant funding. And as part of the 2025 RATP, as Teresa explained, a complete streets policy template has been developed for adoption by Kings County. The policy does include a Vision Zero commitment, and adoption of this policy will make the proposed projects of this plan more competitive for grant funding, including the SS4A grants. And as shown on the screen, the project schedule, we began the project development process back in spring 2024. And we've led community engagement efforts throughout the duration of this project so that the community has been involved with shaping the project recommendations. We're now toward the end of the project with adoption planned for this summer, or end of summer. And what's shown on my screen here includes an overview of all the engagement activities we've done throughout the county. I like to highlight on the events we held in unincorporated communities of Kings County. We did a virtual walk audit in partnership with Kings Partnership Heal Work Group to gather what the community needs are and help us with develop a community needs assessment. We also did a tabling event at a back to school night at Lakeside Elementary School in Home Garden. And for phase 2 of our outreach approach, we focus on gathering input on the project priorities based on our results from the project prioritization analysis. So we held 2 tabling events back in November 2024. And these were during the family engagement nights at the KCAO Learning Centers in Armona and Home Garden. I did also want to note that we held in-person walk audits at Armona Elementary School and Stratford Elementary School back in November 2024. And we also distributed an online survey to gather feedback from any community members who may not have been able to attend a workshop in person or another in-person event. So the input that we received from these engagement activities helped us to refine the proposed improvements you see in the plan today. And as part of the public engagement process, we also established a project advisory committee, which included members of the Kings County Public Works Department and other local representatives. And we held these meetings at key milestones of the project development process. During our last project advisory committee meeting, we asked members if they support moving forward with the proposed projects identified in Kings County. And as shown on the pie chart, the majority of respondents did support the proposed projects as recommended. The 2025 RATP includes 8 chapters as listed on the screen. Chapter 6 pertains to Kings County, and it includes the safety and equity analysis, the non-infrastructure programs that we're proposing, and also the proposed bicycle pedestrian infrastructure network maps. I've listed the type of infrastructure improvements that we've identified as part of the plan. These include pedestrian priority corridors and priority crossing improvements. Our bicycle recommendations also include class 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for Kings County, we've identified a total of 27 pedestrian improvement projects. These recommendations are proposed throughout the unincorporated communities of Armona, Home Garden, Kettleman City, Santa Rosa Rancheria, and Stratford. And these projects aim to close sidewalk gaps, improve accessibility to community destinations, and enhance safety overall. We identified a total of 17 bikeway projects. And the proposed bikeway network covers approximately 45 miles of new or enhanced bicycle facilities, including 14 miles of class 1 paths, shared use paths, 28 miles of class 2 bike lanes, and about 4 miles of class 4 and class 3 bike lanes. The recommended bikeway network emphasizes low stress facilities that improve access to key community destinations, including schools, parks, employment centers, transit stops across the communities of Armona, Stratford, Kettleman City, Home Garden, Santa Rosa Rancheria, and rural North County. And as part of the implementation plan, we ranked the proposed projects by impact, feasibility, and alignment with community priorities. We've prepared cost estimates for the top 10 pedestrian and bicycle projects in Kings County, and we've identified state and federal funding programs to move them from concept to construction. Some of the key next steps include adoption of the plan by KCAG in September, so next month, and also integrating and supporting complete streets policies across the county, and continue to seek funding for the design and construction of the projects. I have our contact information on the screen, but I now like to open it up for any questions. We'd be happy to explain more about the projects or the process of the plan.
Thank you, Lynette. Any questions from the Board of Supervisors? You guys good? You guys ready to ride your bikes? You got lots of roads?
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Ed Robinson.
Lord knows I need to ride my bike a lot more. The question is, are these going to be applied to, I couldn't really see the maps very well. So are these going to be applied to existing roadways, or these are independent roadways like paths and so forth? How are they applied?
Yeah, there is a combination of, there was already some existing bikeways, and so they're also part of the proposed plan. And then we either extended some of those paths or maybe included different pathways in different unincorporated communities.
So they're not going to be applied to where there's congestion, like I guess just something like on Main Street, for example, how it's already difficult to navigate. You wouldn't be putting them in those areas probably, right?
Are you talking about Main Street, which particularly?
Just as an example, like for example, on 7th Street on Main Street, just because it's congested, there's parking, etc. And it's already narrow. So you wouldn't be looking at areas like that to put these, right?
Yeah, Lynette, just if you go back to the map, but I don't think Main Street's on it. They pick certain roads that are, back to the map. You see right there. So in Kings County, they have the different streets. These maps are kind of small, but this is used, for example, Kettleman City. we have a big industrial area where we have the In-N-Out Burger and we have the part where everybody lives. We want to connect that with the bike path.
Sure.
And so this is a study that shows community support, that they would support the bike path if we were to build it. And so Armona, they got a couple paths there to help get people around where it's a safe route where we can get funding for roads to widen the roads a little bit. So we can allow bikes to be on roads at a safer experience.
Yeah, like the concept. I just have bad eyes. I couldn't see the maps.
So then green,
Yeah.
this map is.
Yes, and the
Yes.
green are the class 1 bike lanes, which are off-road. So those are particularly proposed to connect communities. So they're regional connectors. And then we have some class 3s proposed, and those are, shared use, shared with the travel lane bike lanes that are proposed in on neighborhoods. So they're easy to navigate within like local community centers or schools or parks.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Very good.
Just one question. Are any of these pathways, like the bike paths and the pedestrian paths, they're just along the side of the road? This isn't a.
Well, the green is off the road. The blue is on the road. And I'm not sure.
So would that green then be considered a pathway that
like a sidewalk?
You see in other cities that have these pathways that people go out in the evening hours and they ride bikes and they walk on them?
Yes, that's what it would be like. So I'm just using Kettleman City as an example because we all see that and how the congestion would come on top of the aqueduct. So their idea is to connect the city and the industrial part together for people to ride their bikes to work or to go get some food or whatever they want to do. Am I correct, Lynette?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes, yeah, the class 1 facilities are separated pedestrian and bicycle facilities. So
You
those are
just
the
can't ride
pathways
the
that you
bike
see.
from here to Kettleman without getting run over. So
They're what we call low stress facilities so that, children and families feel comfortable using them.
correct. Any other questions? I'm going to look at. You have a question?
No, I wanted to let you know that the staff does have a copy of the plan. It's 476 pages.
Can you read that to us, please?
I'll get those copies to you shortly.
Yeah, get Rusty a copy so he can see it.
I'll let him look at mine.
Just the maps. Thank you.
Any questions from the audience? How many people in here today rode their bike to work? Yeah. We don't ride a lot of bikes here because it's a little too hot in the summertime. This year has been nice, but I think if the weather was nicer all year, we'd have more bicycle riders. So they have to be safe too. So if there's no questions, this is just a study session. I'll bring it back to Teresa. You have any other comments?
No, just other than thank you for having us today. And we look forward to any comments that you might want to add if you have a deeper
And
dive
comments
into
can be
the
made
draft.
up to any time until our September board meeting, which will be the third week or the comment period is over. Is it over now or do we still have time to make comment?
You still have time till next week,
All right.
till TPC. Thank you.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Lynette.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we don't vote on this at all. We just the study session. Okay. So it is 10:05. We'll move on now to our next item, which is a public hearing at 10 o'clock. So we're only 5 minutes late. So Mitchell, would you start our study session? Our public hearing, I'm sorry.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mitchell Cabrera, Chief Engineer with the Public Works Department. I'm going to introduce Megan, who will kind of lead the public hearing. I just wanted to point out that the agenda had a typo. It said Human Resources. It should say Public Works.
Yes.
So now I'll introduce Megan, who will lead the public hearing for the Armona Zone of Benefit.
Thank you. Morning, Megan.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Megan Ewenberry, Engineer 2, Kings County Public Works Department. I'm before your board regarding creation of Zone of Benefit 1-2 within Tract 936, also known as the Armona Summers Point subdivision in the unincorporated community of Armona. The purpose of the Zone of Benefit is to create a parcel tax for each residential lot to provide funding for roadway maintenance. The tax will be collected by the assessor and Public Works will hire a contractor to perform maintenance every 7 years. Prior phases relied on the formation of a homeowners association, which then would be responsible for roadway maintenance. But there were challenges with this model that proved it to be ineffective. So the county has moved forward with the Zone of Benefit model to collect a parcel tax which the county will use to provide roadway maintenance on the corresponding roadways. After giving the public the opportunity to comment, our department recommendation would be to waive the second reading and adopt the ordinance number 717, amending Chapter 2 Code of Ordinances to propose the parcel tax. Also, if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the board? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing up. And public hearing is now open. Do we have any written comments?
I have received no written correspondence. No one has filled out a speaker card, and no one online.
Anybody online? No hands raised? Anybody in the audience? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for board direction. Okay, go back. What's the board's direction?
Motion.
Motion by Supervisor Robinson, second by Supervisor Thayer. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. That was easy.
Richard Valley.
Aye.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yeah.
Robert Thayer.
Yes.
4 in favor, 1 absent. So yeah, this project, and what this is unusual for us to do this, but it's important because just as Kettleman City and Avenel, they built in their community years and years ago, there was no tax base to help put curb gutters and sidewalks in or maintain them. This allows that in the future. So this is very important to get this done early on before the houses are built, so we can assess the property, so we can have a nice neighborhood where people can live.
I thought we actually done a couple of these.
We have.
Yeah.
It just states the fact that we didn't do it years and years ago.
And for the minutes, the public hearing was closed.
Yeah, just an explanation to the board. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. We'll move on now to, we're over. We're done. Board member announcements and reports. We'll start with Supervisor Robinson. Oh, you got your
Thank you, Mr.
notepad out
Chairman.
again. I see that.
Yeah. We gotta remember all the way back to Wednesday. Hey, let's see, I met with Department Head Lupe Villa last week on a variety of topics, including Avenel City Council recall, also governor's redistricting, which could be a substantial cost to the county. Spoke to Republican Central Committee on the Mid-Kings River GSA and water concerns, and also several constituents regarding the same. Friday and Monday discussed practice fields with Little League board member Joe Castaneda concerning Hanford Elementary facilities. Charlotte Lyles informed me that community members can reserve practice field for their sports organizations. However, she said, please designate someone so they don't get a plethora of phone calls for your organization. In this particular case, it was about Little League, and they have a designee. And they accept these applications year round, but basically what happens is when they get back from vacation, all the school stuff gets put on the calendar, and then they look to community. And so a lot of people are unaware that this occurred, but it's first come, first served. And a lot of coaches know exactly which fields they want, so they try and get on there early. You do need a liability policy. She said somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million. But if you submit your application, you can contact her. It's clyles@hanfordesd.org. She'll be happy to take a look at that, and hopefully we can better utilize our schools and the parks associated with them. So, lastly, I attended a memorial service for Sunset Rotary President Mike Johnson, who's also a member of my family at the Hanford Episcopal Church. So he will be missed. He gave his whole life to Sunset Rotary, and big member of my family. So thank you, Mr.
Very good. Supervisor Valley.
I'm good, Mr. Chairman.
Supervisor there.
Yes, I too joined Supervisor Robinson at the Central Republican Committee meeting. Just popped in and spent a few months since I've been with that group, and then yesterday was invited along with Supervisor Verboon to a dairy industry meeting at Kings County Farm Bureau, and some just issues within the dairy industry. Hopefully that our county can help navigate through that. Spent a considerable amount of time actively recruiting constituents for the general plan committee that's being formed, and then just lastly to this board, I head out later this week. It was nice seeing Kings Community Action. I think they all left, but we fly out. I fly out later this week to Michigan to attend the Kings Community Action organization's annual conference. Looking forward to that. Have no idea what to expect, but it's in Detroit. Was a little concerned because Detroit, I'm told, is hot and humid, but according to the weather, it's going to be 80 degrees, while
Good for the
Hanford
skin.
is
Good for your
107. So I think I chose wisely.
Yeah, but it's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Anyway, that's it, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on now to staff updates and or reports. Mary Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, before I go through my report, Fire Chief is actually going to give an update.
All right. Morning, Chief. How are we doing today?
Good morning. We're excellent today.
Yeah, have you had a day off yet since you got here?
What's that exactly? Yeah, no, I've not. But that does bring up a good point. 2 months roughly since I've been here, not much of a time off, but I just want to tell you, thank you for the opportunity again. I couldn't be more proud of the men and women of the Kings County Fire Department with the mission that we asked them to do, and the results they're producing. Good morning, Honorable Chair, board members, CAO staff, and members of the public. I'm John Chamberlain. I'm your fire chief for Kings County Fire. Southern California's been burning. Not a surprise about this time of year. It's going to get worse, obviously, as we know, moving into the season. Just an update, the Gifford fire near Santa Maria is currently 132,000 acres, 95% containment. Locally, this incident drew a total of 2 engines, 5 staff vehicles, our second bulldozer that went out. Dozer tender, that's a support vehicle for the actual bulldozer. 3 battalion chiefs as strike team and task force leaders, several captains we had the opportunity to put in position to actually get training. So that was a great opportunity for us as we were going through that. A captain that oversees the communications unit for the incident management team that's assigned to that. And we continue to have 1 battalion chief overseeing a multi-agency, multi-state resources and a task force configuration at the fire. Everything else has been released except that 1 captain that's assigned to the management team. We also currently have 1 engineer assigned to the Bear Gulch fire in Washington State in the planning section of that incident management team. That incident's currently 8,400 acres, 7% containment, so that person's going to be gone a while. Probably extended 21, I'm guessing. The peak drawdown amounted to roughly 20 to 25% of our available labor pool. Just to put it in perspective for you. We got a little thin in the management realm. Yes, I actually did pick up the duty for a little while. So that was exciting for me. But our personnel performed admirably. Finally, locally last Thursday, we had the 6th Street fire. I kind of made you all aware of that. Was south of Corcoran. We contained it to 550 acres. It utilized 6 of our 10 staff stations. Our second dozer, Type 3 engine from Tulare County, 2 engines from Kern County, an additional bulldozer from CAL FIRE out of Coalinga that they had on contract, and several cover engines from Fresno County. In addition, we instituted a recall for 6 additional personnel to backfill some stations. And County Roads did a tremendous job of coming out and covering us on 6th Street, kept us from getting run over. I don't know what it is with people in smoke, but they like to drive fast and through it. So that kept us safe.
Well, you got social media and they're announcing it to the free world and they want to see it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they all head out there.
they saw it. They did a good job of dispersing the smoke for us with their wind. So we unfortunately have had 1 injury to an engineer on the Gifford fire. He had a knee injury. They had to haul him off the line. Quite embarrassing for him. I do have photos for later for blackmail material at his retirement party. We also had some minor damage to one of our OES engines. Basically, as they were traversing the road up to replace the crew that had already been working 16 hours, they clipped with another OES engine. So we have to replace some paint, maybe a little bit of door damage, but that's not too bad. And in closing, I'm going to be doing a bit of traveling to San Diego and Indianapolis for FirstNet meetings. Basically, they've given us the opportunity to increase the cell coverage, grabbing some additional towers. That's not what I'm most excited about. What I'm most excited about is their opportunity to utilize IP addresses, emphasize interoperability between VHF, UHF, 800, satellite, and IP addresses for redundancy for our crew safety. So I want to make sure we get Kings out there in the forefront of this for low to no cost. So with that, I conclude my report. If you have any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from Chief? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the report. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the board received correspondence yesterday from JP Sweeney dated August 12th regarding a request for sponsorship to cover his costs of travel to the United Nations to speak as a leading expert on the future of transportation. The board also received correspondence from Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control dated August 18th regarding an application for a beverage license for 8745 East Lacey Boulevard in Hanford. The board received correspondence from Santa Rosa Rancheria Yokup Tribe Department of Education on August 18th regarding the sponsorship of their 8th annual charity golf tournament in support of youth services. For upcoming events, Kings County Behavioral Health will host its mental health family support group tonight, Tuesday, August 19th from 5:30 to 7:30 on campus at the Kings Building. Kings County Library will host its movie time at the library at Stratford Branch tomorrow, Wednesday, August 20th at 3 p.m. And Kings County staff will host its budget hearings on Monday, August 25th, starting at 9 a.m. here in our board chambers. For upcoming agenda items, the following agenda items are for August 26th. That's the Tuesday after budget hearing. Administration has 2 items: Fix Our Forest Act support letters and the budget book photo contest winner presentation. Behavioral Health has an item on an agreement with Merced Behavioral Health for skilled nursing facility. Health has 2 items on real-time allotment funding and a waiver for administrative fees for state-provided flu vaccines. Human Resources an item on the update to a silo resolution. HSA has an item on some laptop purchases. IT has some maintenance and service agreements and an emergency replacement of an air conditioning unit in the Kings County jail server room. Library has an item in agreement with Always Moving for library moving services for the Hanford and Lemoore Library closure. Public Works has an item on a special event request by the Kings County Sheriff Posse. And Veterans Service has 1 item regarding the fiscal year 25-26 county program medical cost avoidance agreement. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go now to County Council to outline our closed session items.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Government Code Section 54956.9D1, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation for the following cases: Alexandria Smith v. County of Kings et al., Kings County Superior Court, case number 23C0037. Next case, Carla Bidet v. County of Kings et al., Kings County Superior Court, case number 120CV00644 KESSKO. Next case, Perla Trejo v. County of Kings et al., U.S. District Court, Eastern District of California. Case number 123CV01181 JLT HBK. Next item, conference for Government Code Section 54956.8, conference with real property negotiators, property APN 011-060-001-000 and 012-240-068-000. Agency negotiator Kyria Martinez under negotiation, price and terms of payment. Government Code Section 54956.9, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 of subdivision D of Section 54956.9 of the Government Code, 3 cases. Final item, Government Code Section 54956.9, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 of subdivision D of Section 54956.9 of the Government Code, 1 case, Arthur Garcia Workers' Compensation Appeals Board, case number ADJ 112484646. And I will turn it back to the chair for any public comment.
Thank you. Any public comment at this time? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned until next Tuesday, August 26th, we have a Board of Equalization meeting at 1 p.m. today, and we also have our meeting at 9 a.m. on Monday morning for our budget. So thank you very much.